Here we go. This is Ken at Capital Advantage Tutoring. And the biggest thing people have a problem with is the options. Now, I have great videos behind the paywall for the math. But what people really struggle with is the suitability of the options. So I think we're going to spend the next couple hours doing option questions, suitability questions. You might see some repeats, stay to the end because I have a whole thing on the spread, widen and all that stuff. We're going to have a lot of fun. Fun is relative. But let's get into it, baby. Let's get into this stuff. Okay, let's start with the first one, baby. This is going to be hundreds, not hundreds, but quite a few, well over 100 questions just on suitability. No math, just like what do we do? I'm going to struggle with some of them. I won't struggle with some. I'll try to explain as much as I can. Okay. Now, first start, we're going to start off the bat with a killer one, a collar strategy. Okay. A collar strategy. What does it do? I'm not going to read all four. I'm just going to go through the thing. So a collar, and I won't do all these visual, but we're going to do a couple that I think are important. A collar is like if you're long stock and then you also buy a put for protection, right? So you pay for that, but then you also give up your upside. There's the answer. And you sell a call. So what you're going to do is you're going to sell the call, your long stock, you sell the call and use the premium to buy the put. So that kind of is a cashless collar, not like cashless chaps, cashless collar. So you're giving up your upside because once the stock goes above the call strike, you have to sell it. So you're giving up your unlimited upside from loaning stock. Like if you just do a protective put, you have unlimited upside, but you have to pay for the put. So here you get rid of the cost. Boom. Number one. Hey, baby. Good stuff. Let's get on. Which option strategy is often used to generate additional return on a stock position that the investor is willing to sell? Remember, you buy for protection, you sell for income. You should be doing this after you're comfortable with options. So when I say cover call, you know that it's buy stock, sell a call. The answer is A as an apple. If they want a protection, you buy a put. Good stuff. Which strategy profits the most if volatility collapses? Meaning it doesn't move very much. It means not volatile. We're going to do short straddle stability, right? So if we want volatility, we do a long straddle, short straddle stability. Now you could do a butterfly, but you're not going to make the most on that because you're not going to make a lot. You're paying some and you're selling some. A short straddle is taking in the premium. Nothing happens. You make the moolah. Again, long butterflies are good for neutral, but that's not really where you're going to go. And you're spending some money, whereas on the short straddle, you only bring in money. Okay, here. Oh, look at this. A long butterfly. Okay, spread requires the investor to believe. Remember, long butterflies believe that the market will not move because the options you buy, you're going to offset the ones you sell, and then you keep the money. Hopefully, they all expire, and you make more on the ones you sell than you lose on the ones you buy. So you're looking for it hover near a certain price, which is known as stability, baby. Let's go. An investor buys stock and buys a put. This strategy is also called, now if it's, I did this, but I should have done it better. This is a protective put, but if it's the same day, it's a married put. A married put, because if you do it a married put, it doesn't affect the cost basis. If you buy a put anytime after you buy the stock, but before long-term holding period, it becomes, you're going to ruin your holding period. But again, buy stock, buy a put, married put, baby. You're still bullish. You're looking for protection. Which option strategy allows an investor to earn premium income while being willing to take ownership of a stock at a lower price? So let's see. So get the income from selling. Whenever you see earn income, you're selling. And when you sell a put, if it drops, you have to buy it. Right? If it goes below a certain price, you have to buy it. So boom, selling a naked put, because selling a put, you're obligated to buy the stock, but you're getting the income. I love this. We're rocking this, baby. Remember, if you want to do it yourself, press pause, baby, and get to going. And then just do it yourself. A customer is long stock and sells a cover call. This strategy is best for income and modest bullishness, maximum bear, unlimited upside, hedging a short. Now, we're going to go with income and modest bullishness, right? Because we're buying stock, sell a call. You're okay with a little bit of upside, but you're looking for income. So sell a cover call is A. Good. Which strategy benefits if volatility increases? Of course, long straddle volatility. This is a no-brainer. Boom. The suitability and option should be an easy. It just should be a no-brainer shit. You guys should be killing this, but everyone freaks about it so much. But you should be killing this shit. A protective put guarantees what? You're not getting income because you're paying. Upside is capped. No, no. Dividends are paid. Do not care. You're protecting against losses. Anything beyond the strike price, you stop losing money. You just lock it in. Boom, love it. Protective put, A. Which investor is most suitable for selling naked calls? Wealthy, sophisticated client who understands risk. Conservative, no. High net worth, maybe. Experienced trader seeking premium income. Ooh, this is interesting. So it could be high net worth client with a margin account, but it doesn't say they understand the risk. So it has to be wealthy, sophisticated client who understands unlimited risk. The reason I'm torn on this is because the word margin, which you can only do naked calls in a margin account, I get, but they got to understand that just because you have a margin account doesn't mean you understand unlimited risk. So we're going to go with A. Because remember, it's always about the characteristics of the option. Which strategy is most suitable for customers who expect minimal price movement and want to collect premium? Again, short, straddle, stability, boom. A. I'm not going through the whole thing. This is a quick thing to get you. You don't want to waste a lot of time with this. Which strategy profits if stock declines slightly but not dramatically? Okay. So that would be a bear put spread would work. B, naked call, fair. C, covered call. Ooh, that could be it in a long straddle. So let's say it's not D and it's not, it could be B. Let's see. So it could be A, B, or C. But let's say, let's throw a covered call because that's more bullish. We're going to throw C and D, we're throwing out. This is it. So which profits if it's just slightly but not dramatically? I'm going to go with the bear put spread because it's a debit put spread, because always when they're talking about not a lot, we're thinking of bear put spread. Both naked call would work because you're bearish and you make some money, but if it goes up more than a certain amount, you lose the premium, right? So I'm going to say a bear put spread because you are bearish. You want it to go down. You want it to go down so you make some money. I love it. A is the answer. A short straddle carries which type of risk? S2 sells. So you sell a call, sell a put, you have unlimited risk, baby. Okay. So here's the thing. So unlimited upside and downside risk. Limited risk only to the upside. That's interesting. I don't like that because I do think I should change it. I'm going to change it to this. Because it's not unlimited on the downside. We're going to change that answer to unlimited upside risk. Upside risk. We'll put it there, and that's going to be your answer. That's why we do these, baby. You're helping me out. Okay. Good stuff. I love it because it's not limited on both sides. Risk only to the downside. No, you can lose money on the downside and the upside. So I'm going to say unlimited upside risk. That definitely has it. Now, remember, this is a great thing. I could say and large risk on the downside too, but you're trying to find the answer that's the most right. And A is the most right. Okay. Which strategy is least suitable for conservative? Okay. Cover call is always good. Collars are, limited upside and downside. Protected put, limited downside. Boom. Naked call, baby. Naked calls are for the ballers, the risky ones, the ones who are kind of stupid. Which investor would most be profitable for a debit spread? Okay, debit spread means that we're spending money. Okay. Let's see. So it does cap your profits. So debit means you're spending. So B is out. Spreads don't have unlimited risks. They have a limited risk and gain. And D is the same thing as C in a way that they want to make sure they have big profits. So it has to be A. Because remember, spreads have limited gain, limited loss. So they have a defined risk of what you can lose. And you're not looking for big gains. Remember, spreads are not looking for big gains. They're looking for moderate gains, little ones. That's why I said the one before about the bear put spread up here is about not dramatically. Good. I love it. Okay. An investor is moderately bearish and wants limited risk. Best choice. Okay, naked call is unlimited risk. Short straddle is unlimited risk. Long call is bullish. It's got to be a debit put spread. Buying a put. Debit means buy. Credit means sell. Debit, put, buy, put, bearish. I love it. And limited gain, limited loss. Answer is A. I love this shit. Which option position is most suitable for a bullish investor with limited funds? They don't have a lot of money. So let's see. So naked call is bearish. A long straddle. Interesting. This is an interesting one. I like this one a lot. This is a good thing we have to figure out. Let's think about this. Which option position is most suitable for a bullish investor or bullish? So it has to either be A or D, because short puts. But the thing is, the debit call spread, they don't have the money. So remember, the problem with the short put is you could lose all your money, right? So you could not all your money. You could lose a lot because if it goes to zero, you lose a lot. So you lose the break-even amount. So I got to think debit call spread because limited gain, limited loss. You're controlling where it is. You're controlling how much you gain. So we're going to go with A, debit call spread. Which is the greatest risk to a customer who sells a naked call? Gotta be sell a call. Max gain is premium. Max loss is unlimited. If it goes up, it's gotta be A, baby. Gotta be A. Remember, press pause before we do it so you can answer it and see how I do. Which option strategy requires the highest margin and risk tolerance? It's gotta be. Well, think about it. Cover calls are super good. Debit spreads, you can only lose what you spent, and collars are very risk averse. So naked calls have to be it. You're going to be putting down a shitload of money for that, and you have a lot of risk because you have unlimited risk. Love it. Which investor is most appropriate? Which investor is most appropriate for a short straddle? Volatility, no. Unlimited upside, no. One seeking protection, no. So it's looking for stability, and you have unlimited loss potential. The answer is A, baby. Hope this is helping you guys. Again, I could do a deeper dive, but I'm too fucking lazy, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to spend 2 hours doing that shit. A long butterfly spread is all about stability. All about stability. That's all we're doing. A long butterfly spread is looking for stability. You're looking for it to stay in the middle so you make more money on the selling options and you lose on the buying options. And if you want to do butterflies, I have a whole video in my playlist on that. You can watch it. I'll attach it to here. Okay. Which strategy gets income but leaves your investor exposed to assignment risk? Okay. So assignment, remember, when you buy options, you exercise. When you sell options, you get assigned. So it has to be a selling of an option, which means it has to be a cover call. Because the only time you can be assigned is if you sell an option. So it has to be a cover call, which is long stock. Selling a call gives you income. There it is. Good. Because again, B, C, and D, yeah, you do have collar gives you, you're not really doing a collar for income so much, maybe a little bit, but you're more doing it to sell the call to pay for the put. You're not looking more income as cover call. Investor expects no movement, stress, stability. I want income. Income means sell. It's got to be short straddle, baby. Boom. Love it. Which option? Protection. Ooh, if I'm protection, if I'm short stock, either buy a call or sell a put. I buy for protection, sell for income. So I'm going to buy a call. A, long call, baby. Because I do a long puts with stock, long stock. A short call will be for a long stock income, and cover calls for basically long stock and selling a call. So it has to be long a call because you're short stock, you're afraid it's going to go up. So you buy a call to protect your ass. Good. A client expecting extreme volatility without bias. Volatility, baby. Short straddle stability, so long straddle volatility. A is an apple. Customer owns 100 shares of XYZ and buys one put. This strategy is best for C, hedging. You buy for protection. Now remember, buyers are HIP, HIP, hedge, insure, protection. You should be getting so bored of this already, but keep powering through because this shit's easy. The suitability and options might be the easiest part of this shit. Maybe once in a while you get a crazy one, but for the most part, they follow the rules. We are going to nail this part of the test. Which strategy is most consistent? And how many pages I have left? Fucking A, I'm not even a quarter of the way through. Which strategy is most consistent with an investor who wants to hedge but also reduce the cost of hedging? So we talked about that already. I want to hedge, but I'm long stock. I want to hedge by buying a put, but I don't want to fucking pay for it. So I'm going to sell a call to pay for the put. Boom. So that's called the color. Good. A registered rep should discourage which strategy for a client who cannot afford substantial losses? That makes sense. Well, in reality, A is the answer because A, naked options, baby, have big risk. Naked call has unlimited risk. Naked put has risk down to zero, which is whatever the break even is. So naked options, baby. Naked, uncovered. Ooh, it's cold in here. I'm seeing shrinkage. Okay. Which investor is most suitable for using option spreads? Unlimited upside? No. Unwilling to cap? No. Investor seeking dividends? No. Investor seeking defined risk with a limited profit. Remember, spreads have limited gain, limited loss. So you're really limiting what you can and can't make, but it doesn't cost you a lot. A is the answer. Which strategy is most likely used by an investor expecting stock to stay flat? Again, not moving. Short straddle stability. Boom. Remember something. Anytime you buy something, you don't if the net buying, if you're spending money, you don't want flatness. You want it to move, okay? So anytime you sell something, neutral might be an answer. So B, C, and D are all buying things because bull call is a debit call spread. So you're spending money, you don't want it to not move. If you spend money, you want movement. If you bring in money, usually neutral is okay. Very few times, other than short butterfly and short condor, is selling for not for stability. Which strategy is best if a client is moderately bullish with limited funds? Okay, butterfly, no, the butterfly is hardly ever going to be the answer. Long straddle, well, you need it to move either way more than the premium. Long call only, well, that's fine. But you're moderately bullish, it means it may not cover it. Debit call spread. Remember, debit. I can't say this enough. Spreads want limited gain, limited loss. So they're not looking for big moves. They're looking for small moves, okay? So moderately bullish with limited funds, the debit call spread. Because remember, you're buying a call, paying the premium, then you're selling a call and using the premium you got to reduce what you paid, right? That's right. So if I show you this, I shouldn't have to, baby, but you're making me do it, right? You're making me do it. If I buy a 50 call at 8, I spent 8. But if then I give up my upside and sell a 60 call at 5, I bought at 8, sold at 5, I'm only spending 3. Less money, baby, less money. By the way, the answer is A. Which option strategy can lock in both upside and downside outcomes, but at a cost? Cover call. Because you're buying a cover call, a collar. Sorry about that. Ooh, I think I'm going to go. Let's see. Long straddle's volatility, short straddle is premium or unlimited. So A and B are out. A collar could cost you money, right? So I think a cover call, you lock in your upside because you can't make too much, but your downside's big. So I get that, okay? But I'm going to go with collar because if you buy a collar, you're buying the stock, you're selling the call, and maybe you sell a call for less than you buy the put. It's got to be that. I could see cover call. I can guess that, but I'm going to go with collar. Final answer. Because you're selling a call and maybe you sell the call for less than the put, so it costs you a little bit of money. But you are locking in the up and down. A client is conservative in income. We know this one, right? Cover calls, you can do any account, UGMA, UPMA, IRA. You can do a cover call index. You can do a cover on any account because it's the most conservative option strategy there is. Cover call, baby. Naked's too risky. Long straddle is not for income. Debit put. Debit means buy. Remember, income means you're bringing money in. So it's either A or B, right? But we're not really. Naked's super risky. Like seeing me naked be bad. Oh, you can't unsee that now. Which option strategy is considered most speculative? It's got to be naked calls because cover calls are safe. They're conservative. Collars are, you're looking for big moves. And butterfly spread is looking for not a lot of movements. And naked calls, you're doing for income, you're bearish, stuff like that. I love it. We're still only about a quarter of the way. Okay. If I'm short 100 shares, how do I hedge? If I'm short, I buy a call or sell a put. Buy for protection, sell for income. It's got to be A, buy a call. If it said for income, I would sell a put. What is the main suitability concern with naked option writing? It's fucking risky as hell, right? All of them, they will earn income. They can only do it on a margin account, and there's no dividends. They're not getting dividends. The answer's got to be A. They understand and accept unlimited risk. They need to understand that unlimited means the limit does not exist. That you literally, there is no number where you stop losing money. That's unlimited risk. So the answer is A. Which investor would benefit most from a collar? Not D, because they shouldn't be doing any of this. That'd be maybe selling call for calls, maybe. Speculator seeking leverage, no, that's just buying calls or buying puts. A day trader, no. I would go with A. Risk averse, you're buying the put to take away your risk, and you're giving up your gain potential because you're selling the call. It's got to be A. Lots of collar questions because they're harder. I'm trying to do hard questions. Client wants limited risk and limited reward with a neutral outlook. There's the butterfly, baby. There's the butterfly. Because of a long call, unlimited gain, unlimited small loss. Naked call, unlimited loss, small gain. Short straddle, unlimited loss, small gain. It's got to be a butterfly because a butterfly is not looking for big gains or losses. They're looking for neutral. You're very limited on what you can and can't make. And you didn't even know if I was gone, but I was gone and now I am back. Okay. Let's keep going. Remember, stay to the end because I got some good spread ones going to come in. Mr. Johnson, these are more scenarios. Mr. Johnson, a 62-year-old retiree owns 800 shares of a pharma company. He's worried about FDA news that could cause a short-term decline, but doesn't want to sell the stock. Which strategy is most suitable? So he's looking for protection. So we're going to buy protective puts. That works. You're not going to sell calls. That'd be for income. Buying calls and selling puts are both bullish. He owns stock. Remember, you want a bull and a bear always, one opposite, right? So if we're a long stock, you either buy a put for protection or sell a call for income. If you're short stock, you buy a call for protection, sell a put for income. It is that easy. Okay, here we go. Emily, age 35, has 2,000 to speculate on a tech stock she thinks will surge after a product launch. She wants maximum leverage and accepts losing the premium. What should you do? Sure. She's bullish. She wants it to go up a lot. She doesn't want to cap her gains. She's going to buy a call. Because I'm bullish. Good. Yes, selling a put is bullish also, but she didn't say income, and you don't make a lot of money. Remember, whenever you sell an option, you're not looking for big gains. You're just looking for the premium. You kind of hope nothing happens. Mr. Patel is short 300 shares of an energy company. An OPEC meeting could spike oil prices, and he's worried about unlimited upside losses. Which hedge is most appropriate? Should we short the stock? He's worried about going up. You can either sell a put or buy a call. They didn't say income. He said protection. Buy a call. Boom. Karen, a moderate investor who complains to the manager all the time, owns 500 shares of utility stock. She expected to trade flat for the 6 months and wants to earn premium income, supplement her yield, add cash. All these things mean the same thing, even if she's giving up a little upside. Because remember, whenever you sell an option, you're giving up some of the upside. Which strategy should her rep recommend? I kind of gave the cat away. Right cover calls, because that's the most conservative option strategy there is. 500 shares of a not moving stock, you sell cover calls, make that money. Bring in the bag, baby. Anthony, 29, is bearish on the retail stock at $40. He wants to speculate on a decline, but limit his loss to the premium paid. Which option strategy fits? Well, you're bearish and you want to speculate, so we're going to be buying something. We can either sell a call or buy a put, so we're going to go with buy a put, baby. Buy a put. Mrs. Lopez, a conservative investor, owns 1,000 shares of a bank she plans to hold long term. She's worried about a market correction in the next quarter and is willing to pay for protection. Oh, bing, 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 protection. Which strategy is best? Buy protective puts. Because you're not going to sell calls because that's for income. Love it. Jacob, an experienced trader, is short 200 shares of a biotech. He wants to generate income to reduce his short costs and accept the risk of being assigned to buy back shares. Which strategy is suitable? If I'm short stock, I either buy a call for protection, which they didn't say. They said income. Sell a put. So we're going to write covered puts, baby. Letter A. Come on, keep up with me, people. Lisa, 50, owns 300 shares of a stable industrial stock. She doesn't expect it to rise much soon, but she wants to collect income and is fine if the stock gets called away. Which option strategy applies? I think we're going to go with right cover calls. And my dog is looking at me like I'm nuts. Okay, so Lisa owns it. She owns stock. She's looking for income. She's going to sell cover calls. I love it. Mr. Chen, age 39, is cautiously bullish on a $55 stock. He wants upside but limited risk with a lower cost than buying shares outright. Which single option is most suitable? He wants upside but limited risk with a lower cost than buying the shares outright. I got to think you're going to buy a call because you're bullish and you're going to lose the premium. I love it. Okay, everyone read that. I have to press pause for a second. I got to get the rice. And Rebecca, Sarah, a 70-year-old retiree, lives off fixed income. She owns 400 shares of a consumer staple stock for dividends, but fears a downturn. She wants downside protection, even if it costs her. Which option strategy best fits? Protect the puts, baby. She wants protection. Boom, buy puts. Tom holds 300 shares ahead of earnings and wants downside insurance without selling. What's the most suitable? Buy puts, baby. You want protection? Buy puts. Hedge, insurance, protection. These are easy, right? So fucking easy. Do these until you can do these before you even finish. Rachel expects a strong rally, but only has 1,500 and accepts losing premium. Which strategy fits? Buy calls. She's looking for a rally. Don't want to spend that. Love it. Miguel is short 200 shares and fears a squeeze on takeover rumors. Which single option hedge caps his upside risk? Buy calls, because he's short, wants to buy calls. I love it. Sophia is long 500 shares of utility, wants income, because utilities don't fucking move. Wants utilities, wants income, accepting, giving up your upside. She's going to write cover calls. This is fantastico. James Wants bearish exposure with defined risk and high leverage. Remember, whenever they say leverage, you're usually talking about either margin or opciones. Got a woman recording this gold, baby. James wants bearish exposure with a defined risk and high leverage. Limited risk, because you're buying it, and high leverage, which is buying an option. Going to buy a put, buy a put, buy a put, buy a put. Linda holds an S&P heavy portfolio. Fears short-term market shock. Most effective hedge. Buy index puts. Now, S&P, so that'd be a broad base because she's doing the S&P. If she was on like tech or pharma or autos or some specific one, you'd buy a narrow based index. So again, we're looking for hedge and short protection. Buying a put, baby. Buying a put. Don't worry, there's more shit coming that's a little different than this stuff. We're going to get there. I'm 42 out of 110 pages. David is short 100 shares and wants to reduce rally risk, but remain net short. I'm short. I want protection. I buy calls. It's so easy, people. This is how easy it is on the fucking test. Karen is long 200 volatile shares and wants insurance while continue to hold. What are we going to do? Buy protective puts. That's it. Some of the vendors will make you, do you want to buy 40 puts or 45 puts? They're not going to ask you that on the test unless they make it very clear they want to pay more premium or less premium. So if you own stock at 50 and they gave you a choice of buying a 40 put or 45 put, right? Well, it depends. Are they willing to take some risk? Then you do the 40 put and pay less money. Or they want to pay more money and have less risk, they buy the 45. Because remember, if you buy a put, the higher strike is higher premium. That also means you have a higher break-even point. Okay, remember, none of this is math, baby. This is pure suitability. Mr. Patel is short 300 energy shares. An OPEC surprise could spike prices. Best hedge, buy a call. It's that fucking easy, people. Olivia, why buy calls? Because you're short stock. You buy calls to protect. Olivia wants to acquire shares at a lower effective price while earning premium. Oh, see, I was almost going to say, sell a call, but that's not it. She wants to acquire, which means buy. So she's going to sell a put. A lot of people do that. They'll write puts below where it's trading to get the premium. But if it trades down there, they buy the stock and they got the premium too. Quite wonderful. So this is sell a put because she wants premium and to buy the stock. The only selling thing that allows you to buy stock is selling a put. George owns 400 shares. Expects little movement, wants cash flow, baby. Right covered puts, calls. Right covered calls, baby. Right covered calls. Janet fears a correction but won't liquidate her equity portfolio. Single option hedge will either sell a call or buy a put. I don't want to sell the call because I don't want to be forced to sell, so I'm going to buy a put. And again, if she owns a broad, diversified portfolio, broad-based put, broad-based index. If it's a single sector, narrow-based index puts. I love it. I may jump a little bit because I think we're getting this. Tom is bearish on a retail and wants to speculate with limited risk. Since you're buying, you have limited risk. Your speculation is buying a put. This stuff is not that hard. Okay. Let's stop him. Let's do this one. Samantha owns 200 shares and worried about volatility before earnings. Ooh, okay. So remember, we're not looking for income. We're looking for protection on the downside, so we're going to buy puts. I love it. Let me see if I can jump through some good stuff. Actually, these are great. Mr. Johnson, retiree, is long 1,000 dividend shares that pay big dividends. He wants income and is fine being called away. So he's owned stock. So he wants income. So he's going to sell a call. Because remember, when you sell an option, you have the risk of having it called. They kind of gave it away with the called away. Do another one. Anthony's back. He's bearish. He's always bearish. But won't pay premiums. Willing to risk assignment. So he's bearish, but he doesn't want to pay anything. So he wants it for free. Fucking A. You're going to sell calls because the only thing that you don't pay premium for at the bearish is selling calls. I love it. Okay, let's stop for a second and see where we're going to go with this. Here's a good one. Sophia owns a tech-heavy portfolio and fears a sector downturn. So what are you going to do? Okay, so we're worried about that. So I'm very down. I'm going to do bearish things. So it's either A or D, and it says buy puts on the tech ETF. I like that. You buy ETF puts. That's awesome. I love it. That works for me. 28 is A as an apple. Here we go. One more hedging, maybe not hedging, maybe single option. I don't know. George is bullish, but prefers income over paying premium. So he wants to get paid, but he's bullish. So he's bullish. So it's buy a call or sell a put, and he wants income, which means sell a put. Boom, sell a put. Now we're heading into spread world. I'm going to jump past this one. I don't care about that one. Here we go. A customer buys a bull call spread for a net debit. The investor wants a spread too. Now we're going to do a lot of these until they're burnt into your fucking head. And I have ones without premiums, with premiums. We're going to spend the next however long on spreads, baby. Okay. A customer buys a bull call spread. Bullish means we're bullish. Okay. Now remember, bull and call. So the only way you're bull a call is if you buy a call. So this is a debit spread. Do I want it to widen or narrow? I want it to widen. Dead wives can't nag, baby. I got permission. Dead wives can't nag. Debit widen, credit narrow. I guess if you want the politically correct one, you can say the letters debit and widen are the same letters. Credit and narrow, the same number of letters. That's boring. I can't do that math. Okay. Try another one. An investor buys a bear put spread. For a maximum gain, the spread must be, what do I want? So if I'm bearish on puts, that means I'm buying. This is a debit spread, debit widen, debit widen. A, 2 is A, widen. This is a bear put spread, good. A credit call, so a customer establishes a credit call spread. Credit means sell. Selling a call spread, so I'm bearish, right? Okay, so we got to think about that. Now, maximum profit occurs if the spread widens or narrows, okay? I'm going to say it's going to debit widen, credit narrow. B is credit narrow. I love it. I might have done this one already, but I've been trying to correct some stuff to make sure that it's smooth sailing going forward. Okay, here we go. An investor buys a bear put spread. Bear put, which means you're going the same way as the put. That means it's a debit put spread. We're buying the higher premium. That's a debit put spread. Debit widen, credit narrow. The answer is A as an apple. A customer establishes a credit call spread. Credit, that's also bearish, okay? Because credit means sell. So it's a credit call spread. Maybe they don't want that. Maximum profit occurs if the spread narrows or expires. Remember, credit narrow, debit widen, credit narrow. Dead wives can't nag. Credit narrow, debit widen, credit narrow. I love it. So we want to narrow or expire. Okay, number 4. And a debit spread, the investor always wants a spread to widen. D, widen. Debit widen. This is easy shit. Don't even get this shit wrong. And we have, coming after this, we have ones without premiums, which would be so much fun. And a credit spread, the investor always wants a spread to what? Narrow and expire. Boom. D, narrow and expire. Boom. D. 6, bull call spread. Since we're going the same way as the call, that's a debit because buying a call is bullish. Debit is buy a call, bull call spread. This is a debit spread. I want them to debit widen exercise. So I want D as in David. I need the D. Somebody needs the D. There we go. 6D. I want to exercise and widen. Bear call spread. That's going the wrong way, right? So it's a bear. That's a credit call spread because seller calls bearish. Bearish is selling a call. Bear call spread means it's a credit. That means we want it to narrow. These easy shit, narrow, bearish, narrow, expire. I love it. An investor buys a put spread. Buy means debit. The investor is buying a put is bearish, and we want the spread to widen. I love it. Bearish, widen. Debit, widen, bearish. Good. Which spread benefits from the difference when the strikes increases? So which one does better when the spread widens? That's right. Debit widen. All different ways we can answer this shit. Okay. Which spread benefits when the difference in the strike decreases or expires worthless? There'll be a credit spread because credit wanted to narrow or expire. This shit should be falling out of your heads by now. A credit put spread is boring the shit out of me, so it should be boring the shit out of you. A credit put spread, selling a put. Now, selling a put, credit narrow. Where is it? So that's different. So now it's not narrow or widen, it's bullish or bearish. Credit put, sell a put is bearish. Remember, credit means sell, debit means buy. Credit put spread, we want it to rise. Okay. I sell a credit put spread. That's I'm bullish. I want it to narrow. I want it to expire. Let's see. Bullish, there it is, baby. A, investor sells a credit put spread. Sell, I don't even have to put the credit. If I sold the put spread, that's sell. That means I'm bullish because selling a put is bullish. Client buys a put spread. Buy, that's a debit. Buy means debit. That means I want it to exercise and widen. Let's go. But, oh, look at that. A is wrong. It looks right, but it's wrong. We want the stock to fall, right? We want it to go below. Remember, whenever you have a spread, You want it to either go above the higher one if you're bullish or below the lower one if you're bearish. You want it to reach the end of the spread. So this is going to be D, buy a put spread means debit put spread means bearish. Let's go down. I sell a bear call spread. Again, credit call spread. I am bearish, so obviously it's A. I also want it to narrow and expire. A debit put spread. Debit means buy. Debit means buy. So buy a put. So it's bearish. And since it's a debit until widen exercise, that's where we are. Boom. C. Remember, spreads have limited gain, limited risk. Remember that. Spreads have limited gain, limited risks. That's why people buy them. Defined risk. A credit call spread. It's like selling a call. It means I'm bearish. Credit means narrow and expire. Let's find it. Not A. Okay, maybe B. Not C. Not D. Because there's no unlimited with the spread. B is in boy. We want it to be below the strike price. To go down, baby. Down. Down, 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 to down. Okay. A debit spread is least likely, is least suitable for limited risk, moderate outlook, conservative clients, seeking income. So B is no. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm willing to cap profits. I have limited funds because I buy and I sell. That's lower. You should know that already. Limited risk for moderate outlook. I don't know what that means. I'm going to go with B because I'm not looking, because debit means buy. You don't buy for income, you sell for income. Wunderbar. A bull call spread is best and recommended the client is not aggressive. That's a good thing. So you never want aggressively bullish with a spread because it's limited gain, limited loss. So aggressively speculating is not a thing. You're moderately bullish and you don't want to spend a lot of money because remember, you buy a call and you sell a call. You buy a call, you get the money, you spend the money, but you sell the call to lower what you're spending. I love it. So the answer is B. Moderately bullish and cost conscious, not aggressive and not bearish. I'm not looking for volatility. A bear put spread is best recommended when the client is, we know, bearish. So it's not aggressive because spread is not, I did this on purpose. I wanted both sides, right? Not aggressive, not neutral, not bullish. You want moderately bearish with limited funds. I love it. I think we're on to the new ones now. Let's see. Yes, here we go. No premiums. Okay. Buy a 50 call, sell a 60 call. So you have to find the dominant option. Since it's the same month, you have to go with the strikes. The lower strike is the dominant. Is that bullish or bearish? That is bullish. So the whole spread is bullish. It's a bullish. And since the buy is a dominant, buy means debit. Buy means debit. So I am bullish, debit, spread to A. I love it. One again. So nice. We said it twice. Sell a 70 call, buy it. Buy an 80 call. Okay. Sell a 70. I threw me off for a second. So which one's the dominant? The lower strike call. So I'm selling a call. That's a credit spread. I want it to narrow, I want it to expire, and I'm bearish. And it's a credit. So bearish credit, C. I love it. Back on to number 2. We're back on track. Buy a 60 put, buy an October 60 put, sell an October 50 put. On puts, it's the opposite. The higher strike is the dominant. On the puts, the higher strike is the dominant. So buy a 60 put, sell a 50 put. The bigger premium is the 60. I think that works. Buy a 60 put, sell a 50 put. So this is buy a 60 put is a dominant, it's a higher strike. That means it's a debit. That means I want it to widen and exercise. And I'm bearish because buying a put is bearish. So this has to be C. C as in cookie. That's good enough for me. Okay. 3. Sell a 90 put, buy an 80 put. Same month. So I don't worry about this. I worry about the strikes, not the months yet. So the higher one is 90. That's the dominant, so that's a sell. That means credit. That means narrow. That means expire. And selling a put is bullish. So this is a bullish credit spread. Letter D, baby. This is easy crap. Just follow along. Press pause. Do it yourself. Buy a 40. Here we go. Buy an October 45 call. So I look and go, wait, the two strikes are different. It's the same. So I got to look for something different. I'm looking for the months are different. The further month is always a dominant. The further month is always the dominant. Okay. Buy a 45 call, sell a November 45 call. So the November 45 call is dominant over the October 45 call. Okay, now, November 45 is a dominant. That's a sell. So it's a credit. I want it to narrow, and I'm bearish. This is a bearish credit spread. D as in David. Buy a 70 put, buy a November 70 put, sell in October. The further month is the dominant. So the November, Buy means debit. So this is a debit put spread. I want to widen it and I want to exercise. I'm also bearish because buying a put is bearish, and it's a debit. So this is a bearish debit. So this is A. I fucking love this shit. Okay, here we go. 6. Sell in October 55, buy a October 65. Same month, different strikes. The higher strike put is the dominant. Buy a 65 put. That's a debit. I wanted to widen. I wanted to exercise, and I'm bearish because I'm buying a put. Love it. Boom. So this is a debit, bearish debit spread C. Buy in October 100, sell in October 110. The lower strike on the call is a dominant, so buy 100. That's a debit because buy means debit. I'm bullish. I want to widen and exercise. So this is a bullish debit spread. Letter A as an apple. Here we go. 8, sell in October 110 call. Buy an October 120 call. The lower one is a dominant. 110, sell means credit. This is selling a call is bearish. This is a bearish credit spread. Credit means narrow and expire. Love it. This is a bearish credit spread. A. I think we're getting this. I'll do a couple more. Buy a October 40 put, sell an October 30 put. The higher strike on the put is a dominant. This is a buy, which means debit. So we know it's a debit. Buy a put means bearish. So it's a bearish debit spread. Since it's a buy, it's a debit. I want it to widen and exercise. Onward. Number 10. Buy an 80 call, sell a 70 call. The 70 call is a dominant because it's a lower strike on the call. Sell the call is credit. Credit means you sell. Credit means narrow and credit means expire. Sell the call is bearish. So this is a credit, bearish credit spread. I love it. Getting a beat, baby. Getting a beat. I'm going to do one more. Sell an October 60 put. Buy an October 50 put. The high strike is the dominant on the puts. So this is sell, that's a credit. So it's a credit put spread. We know that. Credit selling means credit. This is credit. We want it to narrow and expire. And selling a put is bullish. So there's a bullish credit spread. This is B. Okay, you guys do the last 10. Watch, here we go. You do this one. Tell me in the comments. You do that one. Let's go. Good job. Is this which is the dominant? First, it's a put. So which is the dominant? Then move on. Number 13. Find the dominant. Same months, look for the strikes. The lower strike call or the higher strike put, then get it. 14. Look for it's the same month, so you look for the strikes. The lower call or the higher put strike. Figure it out. Credit or debit, buy, sell. 15. Same months. The higher put or the lower call. The higher put. Find the dominant. Is that a buy or a sell? Is that a buy means debit, sell means credit. Last one, buy a 45 call, sell an October 55 call, which is the dominant. Remember the lower strike call or the higher strike put. This is a call, so obviously it's a lower, and we'll go from there. Okay, guys. I think we did some damage. That's a long one. I got bored, so we're going to stop. I think that's enough to get you through it. I'm going to put it on the free side, and then maybe I'll just jack it into the paid one at some point. Don't forget, if you guys have questions on this, join me on Tuesday nights, tonight, when this comes out, on the live Q&A, baby. Live Q&A. We're going to get this shit done. It's all, ask your questions. I'll stay on there until we get them all done. I won't do the math on the options because I have a great pay membership for $19 a month. You get the options playlist. It'll save your life. I do options differently than most people. The only one who does them similarly to me is Mark Esposito over at Kaplan. Because you both traded options, it kind of just works, right? It kind of gets out there. So check him out. Check out Mark Esposito. He's the best Kaplan teacher there is. We got this. We're going to get into this. Don't forget to check me out every Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday night is FINRA night, live Q&A at 8 p.m. Eastern. And on Thursdays is Nasaa, so we don't really care if you're doing options. Check me out. Please share, subscribe, like, all that crap. And if you don't like what I'm doing, comment too. It doesn't matter. I like to learn. I'll tell you to go fuck off, but it is what it is. Everyone, let's fucking go. Be a savage, and let's get out of here. I am out of here.